The views expressed on the Nerd Realm are not necessarily the views of the Lagging Out Network or its advertisers. Listener discretion is advised. Do not try this at home. We are trained professionals. You are now entering the Nerd Realm on the Lagging Out Network, where we bring all the nerd news and more to you. And now, the hosts of the Nerd Realm, Havoc and 404.
Welcome everybody to the Nerd Realm. We are here. I'm your host Havoc. With me is 404. How are you doing today, buddy?
Hello everyone, I'm 404. I'm the host not found. And as Havoc said, welcome to the Nerd Realm. This show is the WWE Can Suck It. The best show viewed with your earballs. And you were hearing it first. You're hearing it here first that Nerd Realm will be at the 2015 South by Southwest, hanging out in the Lagging Out booth. So make sure to come by and see us if you're going to be at South by Southwest this year.
Oh man, I am excited. And speaking of, guess who else is with us tonight? Guess who else is with us? Out of the time stream, Lily Raven's here. Woo!
Hello, hello. Very glad to be back, guys.
And speaking of the world of WWE, you guys, I saw you were talking about the CM Punk interview that went down the other day.
Yeah, that interview actually happened. It was late December, and there was a 15-minute interview. It's on my Lily Raven Facebook page if you'd like to check it out. Where CM Punk was interviewed. They started it out by introducing CM Punk. There was a 90-second video or so. The 90-second video absolutely was just mocking Punk's enter into MMA. It was rude. It felt like a 15-minute attack on somebody who I've been a fan of for years. When my cell phone rings, it plays Cult of Personality. You know, like, I am all about CM Punk. I always have been. Way back, even when he was independent wrestling, and to watch this guy try and just be an asshole to him on national television, I mean, that wasn't okay. It was upsetting to watch as a fan, and I mean, it was cool the way, you know, he pretty much laid the guy into the ground verbally, you know, and did it in a very classy way, and definitely made me proud to be his fan.
Though I will tell you this, though. During that whole interview, the one thing I did really like is I would like to see him whip Justin Bieber's ass. I'm just sorry. I think Eric wants to see that.
Oh yeah, I don't think that's an issue. I'm pretty sure even he thought that was funny. But I mean, saying that he was gonna fight Chef Boyardee, what they tried to do to him was not okay, and he deserves more respect than that.
Now, one fight though that him and Jason David Frank, aka Tommy, the original Green Ranger, they've been bashing each other left and right, or jokingly, of course, about maybe challenging each other. And Jason David Frank has a pretty impressive record. I don't follow MMA all that much, but if you look up his record, it's not bad. It's not a bad little record. So it'd be really nice to see those two go at it. But I think they're out of weight class.
Well, the thing is that neither of them have that much experience in the actual MMA ring, and you know, the only reason that UFC would sign that contract is just for the freak factor. Two celebrities going in there, so I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, especially because they're kind of in different weight classes. Neither of them have the experience, and also, you know, we're looking at fans that are going to be tuning into that are not UFC fans. From talking to my group of friends, they think it would be more hurtful to UFC than helpful to sign that fight contract.
Well, yeah, I mean, and plus CM Punk doesn't have the dragon sword, so, you know, there's that too.
That's true. He doesn't have the flute of power.
404, what do we got on tonight's docket tonight?
Oh, coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about David Tennant joining the cast of Jessica Jones. We all remember David Tennant as being the best doctor, the 10th Doctor. Bill Nye trolls Bill Belichick and the Patriots. I can't wait to get to this one. Legos everywhere. Havoc is going to have a review of Justice League, Throne of Atlantis. And then shortly after that, we're going to talk about Mortal Kombat X. There's some gameplay that's been revealed. Then we will have Lily Raven with the Whovian update, talking about our favorite doctors. You're pretty down with the new Doctor, aren't you, Lily?
Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of Peter Capaldi and what he's been doing. I'm really excited to get to the Whovian update. Like, okay. I don't want to start talking about it now because you know me, I'll just keep going.
Don't blow your wad now. Yeah, don't blow your wad all over us now. We were going to talk about the Fantastic Four and talk about the trailer and how much Fantastic Four sucks. And then we're going to get to the big story on the Nerd Realm, which is the WWE can suck it. Hashtag cancel WWE Network. Miss Lily Raven, would you do us a favor? Would you be so kind as to get into our first story for us?
We were going to be talking about David Tennant joining the cast of Marvel's Jessica Jones, which is really exciting. The last time we saw David Tennant, he was playing Alec Handy in the BBC series Broadchurch, which was also recently adapted for the American version and then canceled. So sad to see him go on that. But like we said, David Tennant, our, formerly beloved Time Lord, number 10. Debatable on his number anyways. Yeah. He'll be playing the lead villain, and it's a series that's going to be debuting on Netflix. He is going to be doing something new. We haven't really seen the sinister side of David Tennant before, but he will be playing Zebediah Kilgrave, also known as the Purple Man.
I'm excited.
Huh?
I said I'm excited.
Yeah,
oh yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Awesome.
I think he's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think they made the right choice. I mean, the studios nowadays, they are really doing their best. I mean, they see if you cast the wrong person for the wrong character, it can sink the whole thing. Ryan Reynolds, Green Lantern. So, I mean, for those of you that don't know, Jessica Jones is the wife of Marvel superhero Luke Cage, who is also getting his own Netflix series. This particular series, however, focuses on her as she tries to rebuild her life after a short stint as a superhero. She ends up as a detective focusing on enemy cases involving people with extraordinary abilities in New York City. Kilgrave, which is who David Tennant will be playing, is the arch enemy of Jones, and he has the ability to control other people's minds and actions, which he actually uses on Jones herself in a rather unscrupulous manner in the comics. Mm-hmm. He's also literally purple. His skin, I mean, he's gonna be, I mean, David Tennant's pretty hot. I think he's even gonna be hot in purple. So, I mean, chicks out there, check it out.
Sad thing is, he has a really crappy name, but what he did to Jessica Jones in the comics it's flat out just evil.
Well, I mean, he is one of the most interesting baddies out there. So I'm curious to see how Marvel Comics and Netflix stick with the character. He's exactly like, or hopefully he's exactly like he is in the Marvel universe. He could end up being one of the most despicable villains on the small screen.
If you hate him, he's doing great.
Exactly. The more you hate him, the better he's doing. If you'd like to get some more information on this character, we've got a couple of articles, or we found a couple of articles on nerdnews.com, and we'll have more we'll have more on all things Doctor Who later in the show on the Whovian update.
Awesome. But moving on.
Yeah.
Again, reported on nerdnews.com, Bill Nye has been trolling Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Which I don't blame him one bit. In fact, I'm glad Neil deGrasse Tyson jumped in on this too, and I love it. After last week's Deflategate ridiculousness from the Patriots versus the Colts game, everyone's been looking for an explanation from the Patriots about what's going on here. The Pats apparently are the team to hate, and I do. I really hate Tom Brady, especially because I had him the last 2 years as my quarterback on my fantasy football team, and he did jack shit. Now he's the 1 year I don't take him as my quarterback, and he goes to the Super Bowl. God, I hate that guy. So everyone's been looking for a way to blast them, despite them putting on a football clinic all season. You know, I hate this story just because I hate Tom Brady so bad. So I'm glad this is
what you're saying is the Pats have become the NFL's version of the Yankees.
Yeah, basically. So if you don't know what Deflategate's about, if you've been hiding under a rock recently and you don't know what Deflategate is, during the AFC Championship, the Patriots balls, 9 out of the 10 balls that they brought were deflated.
It was 11 out of 12.
11 out of 12. Okay, I'm sorry. Apparently I got to get my facts straight. So, 11 out of 12 balls were deflated by like 2 pounds, and this was just to get a better grip on the ball. And in the end, it had no effect on the outcome of the game at all. So it's still just a bunch of bullshit anyway. So at a press conference this weekend, Patriots head coach Bill Belichick offered an insanely scientific theory as to why or how the footballs may have lost some air pressure. And it's this point we get a little trolling from Mr. Science Bill Nye himself. He basically trolls Belichick, saying that what he said didn't make any sense, and offered the conclusion that the only way for the balls to become deflated would be the use of a deflation needle. And then Nye basically cheered on the Seahawks, poked him in the eye a little bit more. So
Legos. We know how 404 loves his Legos.
I do. I love Legos.
Dude, I'm not a Lego enthusiast like you are though, but what Lego has announced had me just, I was ready to find the money and throw it down. At a staggering 2,996 pieces, at dimensions of 31 inches long, 17 inches wide, and 11 inches tall, and a price tag of $349.99, you can own the Shield Helicarrier.
Oh, I want it! I want it so bad!
This thing comes with, not only does it come with the helicarrier and an interior of the helicarrier, it comes with Quinjets, fuel trucks, 8 minifigures featuring Fury, Cap, and Hawkeye, and some SHIELD agents.
Oh, I want it!
This thing is huge! I want it! I don't know where I would put it, but I want it!
404, do you need a towel for that nerdgasm you just had?
I do. When you see this, it's impressive. I want it.
Yes, and I'll be sure to throw the article in the video. I saw it on IGN. They broke the news about this thing, and it was gorgeous. I was like, I want it. I need it. I need this image. The second I saw it, I was like, 404 needs to see this.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Speaking of Legos, WB Games and Traveler's Tales announced not one, but 2 new Lego games coming this year. One that was teased in the ending credits to Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. There was a little snippet of a T-Rex popping out from beside the building when Batman and Robin are going up the building, and John Williams' epic score from Jurassic Park's playing. And it left many to wonder, is like, are they going to do a Lego Jurassic Park game? Turns out, as of today, it is official. It's due out in June, right alongside the movie. And it's called Lego Jurassic World, and it's rumored to play similar to the Lego Star Wars games, where you get to play through all the games, even a Lego adaptation of the upcoming Jurassic World starring Chris Pratt. Mm-hmm. And there's no other pictures or anything of it. I'm just excited. I mean, that's cool. I mean, I can't wait to play as little Lego Alan Grant or Ian Malcolm.
There's a little snippet in one of the, when you're searching for a red brick in Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham, you have to switch to Plastic Man, and when you go in to get the red brick, he transforms himself into a T-Rex or a Velociraptor. I can't remember which one it was.
I think it's actually a T-Rex. I'm actually sitting on the pause screen of that right now. I've been trying to unlock the Green Loon turn for Mr. Raven. And I think he actually turns into a T-Rex in one of the things you do.
Yeah. We did a nice review about Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham in our last show. And because both Havoc and I played it, I actually just finished mine up before that show. And, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Love that.
Oh, dude,
Yeah, this is a great game.
Yeah, and actually because of PlayStation Now and the streaming of PlayStation streaming games at PlayStation Now, I'm playing Lego Batman 2. So.
Oh,
Very
nice.
nice.
That's good. That was fun. Even more good Lego superhero news. Also announced today, alongside Jurassic World, is Lego Marvel's The Avengers. Not to be confused with Lego Marvel superheroes. Lego Marvel Avengers will apparently take place following the events of The Avengers and Age of Ultron. There's not any concrete details about it, though, but it's been announced. It's, other than a fall 2015 release date, there's not much going on, but I'm just excited we're getting another Lego Marvel game.
Oh, any Lego game. Heck yeah.
For real, I love them all. Lego cannot do anything bad in my opinion.
My favorite part about Lego Batman 3 in particular is, you know, in the Lego games, you always have to save a citizen, or, you know, in the Harry Potter games, it's save a student in peril. In this one, it's you have to save Adam West. And if Adam West ever does listen to this show, I just want him to know that since he was an asshole to me at Comic-Con, I like to sit there and let his little Lego man scream for help for about 10 minutes before I'll actually save it.
Oh, man. No, the only thing I was really kind of mad about Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham was that little tease right during the credits. You know, when the janitors are cleaning up and the portal opens up.
Yeah.
And you see those silhouettes. I was like, no way, they're not going to do it. And it comes on and it's not it's not the Marvel superheroes. Even though they look just like them. They had one on the ceiling looking like Spider-Man. And I mean, I was all excited, and then it wasn't.
Then I wasn't.
Damn you, WB Games! Damn you!
So, heard you watched the Justice League Throne of Atlantis movie recently. How was it?
Yes, it was okay. It wasn't the best in the world. I dare I say.
Really?
It was nowhere near Justice League War.
About Aquaman was okay. Could never have seen that coming.
It was all Aquaman. It's like they could have just called it Aquaman: The Throne of Atlantis, because the Justice League was barely in it. and the eye rolling part of the movie, it wasn't even Aquaman. It was Superman and Wonder Woman. I was like, oh my god, get a room. Get a room. It's like they went on a date. They went for Greek food. I was like, oh god, gouge my eyes out, please. Get me back to Aquaman. Aquaman was the selling point of the damn movie.
Oh, good lord.
Did you just hear what you said? Aquaman was the selling point of the movie.
You know,
Yes.
I think you 5 nerd points.
Oh. That's the thing is, this was straight up New 52 Aquaman. If you read anything about the Justice League New 52 arc, you know this new Aquaman is the shit. We're talking about he has a lightning trident. I mean, I want him to go against Thor, like Chris Hemsworth Thor versus, you know.
Oh my god, Thor would fry Aquaman like a salmon. Move on.
Yes, he would. He would take out Aquaman in literally 5 minutes, if even that.
Yeah.
Oh man, but no. All in all, I mean, the Justice League were highly underused. Good part, Nathan Fillion was again Green Lantern.
Yay!
He rules that role. He rules the role of Hal Jordan.
Sure, yeah, he does.
I mean, it was all in all, out of 5, I'd give it about a 2. It's definitely worth the rent if you're following the DC animated universe. It's worth the rent. I wouldn't buy it. I unfortunately bought it. Whatever.
And your reasoning for buy it was because I had the other one.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what it was.
Hey, you know what, man?
Damn,
you were a dedicated fan, and that's what counts.
Yeah. They took a really lame character and made him awesome, though. Black Manta was in the damn thing, and he was freaking, he was sinister. I liked it. But they also set up something really cool at the end. There's a Lex Luthor cameo in there. I'm not going to ruin that for you. You just have to rent it if you want to. The post-credit scene was at least worth, you know, setting up for a third one that should be an original story instead of an adaptation of the graphic novels. So, So we'll go with that. Like I said, 2 out of 5. Could have been a lot better. Highly unimpressed with the use of the Justice League. Good Aquaman origin, though.
Okay. Excellent. I don't know, man. I don't think I'm gonna look at it. unless it's the Aquaman from the Batman Brave and the Bold series. I don't want to see it.
God. Oh man, no! You like when the final scene ends with him calling a freaking mass of sharks to attack these Atlantean creatures? Yeah, it was a pretty nice looking shot, though. I was like, I want to see what Jason Momoa does with him in the upcoming Batman vs Superman movie. So.
Okay. Well, I feel like we've spent way too much time talking about, of all things, Aquaman.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right,
I agree.
Let's move on to something a little more badassery, such as Mortal Kombat X. Yeah. Gameplay has been revealed. I watched the trailer video for this earlier today, and it was badass. Finally, we get to check out the first few frames of gameplay from the upcoming Mortal Kombat X game. It looks absolutely amazing. Highlights of my 2 favorite characters, Kung Lao and Katana. The action appears fast-paced and furious while adding a lot more chaos to the mix. The characters look fantastic, and that's great. It just keeps going in the awesomeness of Mortal Kombat. That's always been a cutting-edge game from the time it came out. I mean, pretty much they set the standard as far as, well, I think I'm going to have a lot of listeners eating right now for saying that. I kind of think that they set the standard for American fighting games.
Yeah, know that. I can definitely get behind that. Because Japan had to lock down with Neo Geo's, Fatal Fury, Samurai Showdown, all them. And then we also had Capcom over there with Street Fighter 2. Mortal Kombat comes around and say, hey, you guys can throw fireballs all you want. We're going to cut some people up and rip their hearts out.
Yeah. Yep.
There's an awesome part in that trailer, though, because I saw that same trailer. There's a part where Katana has him down and takes her fan and cuts the guy's head open and his brain rolls. I was like, oh my god! It's like the 90s! The ESRB shit themselves when they saw that trailer.
If you want to see more about that story there, you can check that out on nerdnews.com. That's nerd-news.com. And now, moving on to the best part of the show. We have with us, as you know, Miss Lily Raven, and she's hitting us right now with the Whovian update.
All right, thank you for that introduction. Of course, this is the part of the show that I'm always excited about, being able to talk about my Doctor Who stuff. Gotta love it. The last time we talked about it, it was right at the end of Matt Smith's run as the 11th. As we all know, I was very excited to watch him burst into flames and die. And I was not disappointed by the switch over to Peter Capaldi. We started off the season with a slap in the face from Stephen Moffat. Lady Vashta, the lizard woman, for prehistoric lizard woman, she, Clara comes to her freaking out. The doctor's not the same. He's an old man all of a sudden and freaking out. And she pretty much just said, stop being superficial. Called Clara out on her BS, said, the doctor is not a handsome young sex symbol. The doctor is older than time. He is knowledgeable beyond words, and he trusted you enough to show you who he really is. And honestly, that was Stephen Moffat reaching out to every single one of us as fans saying, listen, I'm going back to what Doctor Who was meant to be. We're switching this back up and turning it back into what it started out to be. We've got your interest now, and now we're showing you what this show was actually meant to be about in the first place. I appreciate the new people, but if you can't get into this, then you were never truly Doctor Who fans in the first place. If you watch that episode, all of that's there. Stephen Moffat straight up says, if you don't like it, get out. There's millions of people that are going to be so excited, and however many you leave, there's going to be 5 people coming back from the original series that are more than happy to see the Doctor behaving this way and not a young buck. Like I said, We have learned a lot more about the Doctor. The people that are, new fans now know that, he's not always the best socially. He, knowledge beyond worlds can make you socially awkward. And I mean, it was kind of a little bit weird the first couple of episodes. Even for me, I kept saying, this is awkward.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a feel for the Doctor quite yet. But I mean, as the series went on, or the season went on, he became more stable in his character. We learned a lot more about Clara. We watched her character develop. We thought we were going to lose Clara at some point. It was announced that Jenna Coleman, who plays Clara Oswin, that she was going to be leaving the show. We find out on the Christmas special that no, that's not actually how it's going to work out. But I mean, I was not disappointed with this season whatsoever. We saw some aliens revisited, some new aliens brought in, the Christmas special. I mean, the face huggers. I am really torn, and as a Whovian, this is a big statement to make. I'm not sure which is scarier, the face huggers or the weeping angels.
Oof.
And
Yeah,
that's, I mean, you hear both of these guys' reaction, and, they're not even as big of fans as I am, and they know what a huge statement that is.
You made me a fan. You totally did. And yeah, you're right. Those statues, or the weeping angels, they are so freaky.
They're terrifying. But
Yeah.
Did you see the Christmas special?
I have not yet. No.
So the Christmas special, just to give you a quick rundown, it starts out with Clara meeting Santa Claus on her roof. And it turns out that they are trapped in a dream world of sorts. And these face hugger aliens have attacked, and you don't know if you're dreaming or not. The Doctor says, what person on this planet has ever truly known if we're dreaming or not? And it just kind of is this mind screw for 45 minutes or so of what's going on, and it was invigorating as a Doctor Who fan to get that scared and to get so into the show, because there were some episodes, I will admit, there were some episodes that were kind of boring this season, but in the long run, you turn around, you look at everything that happened, and the way that Doctor Who is going is exciting, and I am so thrilled to say that Doctor Who will be coming back in August, right after my birthday. Can't believe we have to wait that long. At least it's not as bad as being a Sherlock fan, but, still.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of big changes, here recently, the Fantastic Four trailer was released. Oh, Fox! All I gotta say is stop. Just stop. If you've seen the trailer, a lot of the big contention is Johnny Storm being black, and Johnny and Sue not being blood brothers. They are in fact adopted now. My big thing is that I personally don't like the fact that Michael B. Jordan's playing Johnny Storm / the Human Torch, because, I mean, yes, these characters came out at a time where there wasn't a lot of black superheroes, and I know anyone who wants to contend that, they're like, well, you're being racist. No, I believe that if you can't just change the ethnicity of a mainstay character, someone, for God's sakes, the Fantastic Four are Marvel's first family.
Yeah.
And change his ethnicity, changes relationship with Sue Storm.
Yeah, it's almost like saying Superman isn't from Krypton, he's from Mars. No.
Yeah, I mean,
But at the same time, they turned Thor into a woman.
But that's not Thor. That's not the actual Thor. Whoever holds the hammer gets the power. Which is even on the hammer. Whoever holds the power of the hammer will be endowed with the power of Thor. And she is completely different. And I'm actually reading the new Thor book, and whoever's inside, whoever is this new Thor, it's like it's two different entities. It's almost like him and Donald Blake back in the early days of Thor, when Thor was his superhero identity, and Donald Blake was his mild mannered Clark Kent identity. And But here's the thing: is that there's so many black heroes. I think it's lazy because of the fact that create your own characters and get them to that status. Case in point, Miles Morales, who's currently the Spider-Man in the Ultimate Universe, he's earned his spot. He took over for Peter Parker after he died, and he took over his spot. He is a different Spider-Man. He's a popular character. He's black and Hispanic, which is cool because I myself am half Hispanic himself. And Miles Morales, does he deserve to be in a Spider-Man movie? Yes, he does, because he earned his stripes. Sam Wilson, he's now Captain America. He used to be Falcon. He earned his stripes. He earned that credibility. He's been around a while. He's been around, I believe he came in the 60s, 70s, around there. He is Captain America now. He's a damn good Captain America. One of my favorite Captain Americas now. There's been a couple of them. There's been Elijah Bradley, who was also a Captain America. He was the first black Captain America at that. But the point is that, especially with Luke Cage, he's getting a Netflix series. I mean, you have these established black characters. Changing one character and completely doing their own thing with it, it's ridiculous. It's like taking Hulk Hogan and taking the Hulk Hogan we know now since the 80s, taking Terry Boyle as Hogan and turning him black and calling him Hulk Hogan and be okay with it. With established mythology and everything. I mean, it's stupid.
Speaking of Hulk Hogan, I need to start talking about Royal Rumble here.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So I know me and Havoc watched. I watched live, and Havoc watched a little bit after me, and I had to hold my tongue the whole time, saying, "Just turn it off."
No.
One of the big things is, on Twitter, that night and on into the next 2 days after that night, the number one trend in the world was cancel WWE Network. Following that, it was trending for at least 2 days after that. It was such a debacle that mainstream media picked up on it. There were articles in Rolling Stone, Sports Illustrated, it was even in Time. Time Magazine did an article on it. You can find all of these articles online, and the fact that they blew it so big that even mainstream media decided to report on it, that is freaking huge.
You know how bad you have to fuck up to wind up on Time?
Well, I mean, the fact is that, wrestling has been the world's main form of entertainment for a long, long time. I used to get made fun of in elementary school and junior high and high school for watching wrestling, and then I would just turn around and say, actually, you're kind of the ones that should be getting made fun of if you don't watch it, seeing as it's broadcast in, every country in the world. The only reason it's not in mainstream media is that these reporters don't want to piss off the wrestlers that can beat the hell out of them. And the fact that this is, it was such a debacle this time that it even crossed that barrier, that even mainstream media was coming out and saying, holy crap, you guys are overreaching. I mean, it's come out that Vince McMahon has personally been writing Roman Reigns' promos. And then I posted this on my Lily Raven Facebook. There was kind of a mock thing about God being so pissed off about how bad the Royal Rumble is that he created the storm that's going on in the East right now, which made it so that WWE could not broadcast Raw the next night. They couldn't get into the city that they were trying to broadcast from. So they did, they went to WWE headquarters and did interviews instead of doing the main wrestling thing like they were supposed to do. And, of course, there were no promos set up. And we got to see a side of Roman Reigns that we didn't know existed. But the fact is that, Vince McMahon obviously picks the winners of the Royal Rumble. And they had amazing talent. We saw the return of Bubba Ray Dudley, which was incredible. There's a possibility that he may actually be returning to WWE. And at this point, they kind of need to do it to save their own asses. We saw the Boogeyman come back. We saw Diamond Dallas Page, but we didn't see them any longer than...
That was awesome.
It was, but we didn't see them any longer than 6 minutes each. And Daniel Bryan...
I'm glad about DDP, though. I'm glad about DDP. I was shocked he came out. I was like, there's no way he can compete. His back, his neck, everything is shot on him.
Yeah, but it was still cool to see him, and like, I
He
mean,
looked
we as fans, we want to see, we don't want to see the heels win every time. We don't want to see the same matches over and over again, and then we don't want to get slapped in the face because we pay to watch these pay-per-views and then turn around and have them show the match that we were waiting to see on Raw the next night because they can't freaking pull it together. They have shows going on every night of the week. They have Total Divas, they have NXT, they have Main Event, they have Raw, they have SmackDown. They have, WWE countdowns. I mean, they have the WWE Network. They have all this stuff going on. They have 3 hours on Raw now. They need to be able to give us a better product if they want to continue taking our money.
And here's the thing: is that Vince, he's mainly in Titan Towers in Connecticut. He doesn't have control over day to day anymore. He doesn't want that. He's mainly dealing with the corporate side, which sucks because he left Stephanie and Triple H or Jean Paul Levesque, whoever you guys know him as, actually in charge of day to day operation. And I mean, the talent backstage. I mean, who's running backstage is ridiculous, all except for one person. And when I say this guy's name, he's a producer on WWE right now, Freddie Prinze Jr. He's the only one that I'm actually okay with because the fact he's an actor, he knows what the hell he's doing. But it's like Triple H brought in all his workout buddies as his best friends. For God's sakes, the person in charge of talent relations right now used to be a tennis player. A tennis player. Jim Ross, who was talent relations for almost 20 years, he's no longer with the company. He has his own podcast, which he does fantasy bookings all the time. His bookings are fantastic. I don't like. Why don't they bring him back and let him book? Dean Malenko, a classic WCW wrestler, he's a road agent, and they're not even using him. They're using like all these people that Triple H just knows. They have no credible wrestling background, and they have their lead writer right now. He was a no-name wrestler. I don't even remember what his name was. I think it was like The Flea or something like that. But yeah, he's is like a no-name wrestler writing these stories, and they're squandering their talent. The best show to watch on WWE right now isn't even on cable. It's on the WWE Network, and it's NXT. That's where the young bucks are at. That's where the hungry people are. And that's where the future of the talent is, and they're squandering them like the Ascension.
Well, the Ascension has been brought over to the main roster now, but they're fumbling their talent. They had a really good role going with Dean Ambrose, and then they ended the quarrel between Ambrose and Rollins in a really unsatisfactory way and moved on. Dean Ambrose was eliminated pretty freaking quickly from the Rumble, which was upsetting. We saw Daniel Bryan, which everybody was excited and really wanted to see him win, especially after the way he got screwed out of his title and then got injured. But I mean, I've been reading, and I tend to agree with the people at ProWrestling.net, where they say, the best move at this point that they could do if they don't want WrestleMania to flop, Vince and Triple H need to get out of the way, and they need to let Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns come up with an amazing physical match for us to watch. Because if WrestleMania tanks again, I'm done. And I have been a wrestling fan since I was 8 years old. I turned 30 this year. And if I'm willing to say I am absolutely done because I am done wasting 3 hours a week watching wrestling on cable and then turning around and watching stuff on WWE Network when nothing else is on TV, I don't want to waste my time anymore. This is not entertaining, especially when you're giving me the same stories every week and you're not even giving me the physicality that I used to enjoy. I mean, one of the main parts about this is, like, if you are a wrestling fan, you appreciate the fact that, first off, it's a violent soap opera, but you also have to appreciate the physicality in the talent and what they put their bodies through and what their bodies are capable of. Now, their two main people right now are Cena and Reigns, and both of them have like 5 moves. Come on. I don't want to see the same stuff over and over again. And I mean, they're doing this whole thing right now where they're doing a special about when WCW was going against WWF at the time, and they're doing their Monday Night Wars stuff. I mean, take a lesson from your own thing. There's an entire series of exactly what you were doing wrong, and you're repeating those mistakes right now.
Exactly, and they're in the same boat that WCW is in right now. I mean, Triple H is in charge of creative right now, and back during the DX days, there's an actual episode of the Monday Night Wars, and it dealt with the formation of D-Generation X. Him and Shawn Michaels were geniuses. They broke the rules. They were like, and I don't mean just by character alone. No, they pushed what USA would let them. I mean, there was an episode where they read the list of infractions that they could not say on air. They took up 15 minutes of showtime to do it, and the next week they thought they were going to get fired, and Vince was like, whatever it is, you guys can do it. Go ahead, go for it. But Triple H has lost that. It's literally like Stephanie has his balls in a jar and has them right next to her. It says, no, honey. No. We can't do that story. It's bad for business. I'm like,
well, the problem is Triple H has 2 little daughters, and he doesn't want his kids to look at him doing that stuff. And the problem is that WWE is trying to be family entertainment when it in its blood is not. That cannot be a family entertainment thing and still continue to be enthralling television, period.
Well, that's not exactly true. I mean, during the 80s, I mean, I've watched a lot of the Attitude Era stuff. I'm like, oh, God, I used to like this shit. Like,
yeah,
I shouldn't have been able to watch this shit when I was little. For God's sakes, we had Val Venus, one of my favorite superstars. He was a fucking porn star. Yep. And he got his penis chopped off in one of the episodes, supposedly, by Tie.
They were threatening it. They were going to cut his salami off.
Yeah, his choppy off pee-pee.
Choppy.
All right, I need to interject here, because I've been silent through this whole thing, and because I'm not a wrestling fan, and I don't really want to get in, which means I have no clout in anything I'm saying here. But in preparation for this show, is that I was specifically looking to find out why did everybody want to cancel the WWE Network. And while looking on the internet, these stories that I found, none of these stories about this particular problem for the Royal Rumble said anything about really what happened. Like, why did all of a sudden everybody want to jump the ship on the WWE Network? And the only thing that I found in like the 10 different articles that I read was basically the Philly fans, where they held the Royal Rumble, were pissed at who won. So it was and why this all started. That's the only thing that I could find, is that everybody was pissed at the outcome of the match.
Well, not only that, it was boring. It was boring to watch.
And not only that, the biggest thing was the real pro wrestling fans.
For everyone to freak the hell out and then all of a sudden say, oh man, this sport that I love so much and they're doing all this, well, I'm going to cancel this. That'll show them. And then that's not going to show anybody, because that's going to make the whole thing go away and become worse. So,
well, I mean,
the problem is they've been doing this for months. They've been doing it for years at this point, like 2 solid years of force-feeding us the same stories over and over again, the same winners over and over again, and the fans were disappointed. It was a lackluster pay-per-view, and it was just the last straw.
And also, not only that, they were in Philadelphia. That's ECW country. That's
exactly.
Paul Heyman had 5 seconds on screen. ECW was the lifeblood. It was the alternative to WCW and WWE. If you were lucky enough to catch it on cable, because it was broadcasted at such a weak level. I know I watched like maybe 2 episodes of ECW. Fell in love with it. I loved it. It was so raw. It was awesome. And when you don't let Paul Heyman come out, that's a bad sign. When they made so many bad mistakes, many bad calls in that. And the whole Daniel Bryan thing, I'm sorry, he just came back from an injury, a really bad injury. He doesn't need to get into that competition just yet. The guy has ring rust. He's been out for 9 months. I mean, yeah, it's sad he didn't win the Royal Rumble. Boo-hoo. Get over it. A lot of people didn't win the Royal Rumble. I mean, Wade Barrett came back from an injury about a couple months ago. And I mean, yeah, he got his IC title back, but I mean, he didn't win the Royal Rumble. I mean, I think everybody knew that Roman Reigns was eventually going to get the title. I knew it. They're pushing him way too early. He's not ready. Even Jim Ross has said that on his podcast. He's not ready. But, the WWE's going to do what WWE's going to do. But when The Rock comes out and people boo, that's when you know you did a bad show. And
Exactly.
The Rock could even save it. Honestly, I think WWE really needs to circle the wagons, find out what the hell's wrong with creative, Triple H, and try to fix it. Fix it. Yep. Fix it before you really have an issue and someone else comes up and takes your spot. Because if you're not hungry enough, that's what's going to happen.
At this point, WWE needs to candor to their fans. They need to, at the very least, they need to do, they keep saying what's best for business. What's best for business at this point is actually listening to the fans and giving them exactly what they want for a little bit, making them happy, and building up better storylines. Giving the storylines longer time to simmer under people's skins as opposed to trying to get starting a storyline the night of a pay-per-view or the night after a pay-per-view and expecting to wrap it up by the next pay-per-view. That's not how you do it. Sorry.
Give Cena a break. That boy's hurting, man. That boy's
seriously. He needs a break. I've seen enough.
Yeah.
He's wrestling. Anyway.
That's not what you done there. This is 404, and for my friends and co-hosts, Lily Raven and Havoc, thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time.
This has been a presentation of the Nerd Realm with Havoc and 404 on the Lagonaut Network.